most of the people on the call, many of the people on the call, have been doing some form of Lester style releasing. And I've gotten to know a good number of them over the, I guess, 7 years now I've been releasing. And, given the overall world situation now, many people, they can acknowledge intellectually, okay, fine, I'm whole, complete, and perfect as I am, but that's not my default reality. My default reality is I'm a flesh and blood, biologic entity that moves around the surface of the earth. And I have all these needs and wants having to do with, basic necessities like food, health, clothing, shelter. And it seems that I need to engage in some type of structured, focused action to produce that result. And many people are meeting with difficulty in
Well,
performing those kind of activities to generate the things they think they need and want, I'll say, in the awake dream. So I say that's the discrepancy that many people I talk to are up against. Okay, fine. I got it about what I really am as beingness or presence. Fine. That's not going to put food on my table. That's not going
exactly.
to get my car
That's
repaired.
very good. So you know what? Just tell them to make advantages and disadvantages of holding to that point of view.
So advantages and disadvantages of thinking that
Holding
they're
on, holding on,
biological unit in the awake dream.
holding on to that point of view.
And that point of view you're saying is that they're a biological entity in the awake dream.
Yes, and that
Okay.
things are difficult and that they have to work very hard and that all those things. And that is something that in this case, I'm glad I did. I'm glad it happened that way. I did advantages of disadvantages of everything that will come up.
Okay.
Because in this case, I took literally the experience that Lester says, Lester said, get everything only by releasing and by releasing only. And it takes jumping into the void. It really takes letting go all your support.
Oh, okay.
Everything. Because you see everything. As long as you're saying, okay, I'm understanding intellectually and that's the way it is, fine. That's what they want to hold on to. That's fine. That's their freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You're not here to change the world.
And if you'll permit me, I'll play devil's advocate.
Absolutely.
I thought it came to mind while you were talking. I kind of imagined myself explaining this to someone else and what they might say.
No, but the
And
thing is, you see, the important thing is not to explaining. If they already know how to release, just really to sit down and do the work. As long as they don't want to do the work, it's because they are not willing to experience it.
all right, and what would you say to someone who says, I've done the work. I've read the book, I've listened to CDs, I've done retreats, I have a releasing buddy, I have a coach, and my life in the awake dream is not what I seek. I'm intentionally avoiding the word want. But my intention for the circumstances of my experience or the alleged experience in the awake dream is nowhere near what I want. And I see other people who've never heard of releasing and they're living a lavish life. What's wrong? What am I doing wrong?
That's very common right now. What you're
Yeah,
starting to do wrong is
right.
what you're starting to do wrong is
Okay.
comparing yourself. You're busy, very busy comparing instead of being busy consciously do the work that what you want is freedom.
And then what would you say to someone who said, okay, I could realize my freedom, I'd still be poor, I'd still be
The,
sick, I'd
the
still,
thing is, if you want to do that, yes. I mean, and that's what Lester will say. Yes, if you want to be miserable, hey, that's your freedom.
what if someone says, I don't want to be miserable? I seem to be realizing my freedom progressively, but I don't want to be miserable in the awake dream, but I seem to be miserable in the awake dream.
So,
I'm
so
exaggerating a little bit.
no, I know, of course. Yes,
Yeah.
to bring the point home. I
Yes.
understand. Yes, make advantages and disadvantages of wanting to stay miserable.
Okay. Okay.
You see, that opens up your discrimination and advantages and disadvantages of resisting freedom.
Oh, okay.
You see, as long as we're looking for an answer, you see, we are not here to accommodate our points of views. We're not here to make them feel better. We're here to be free from them.
Okay.
Free from the lie that is, free from that which maintains the lie that you are a separate being and that you're separate and that you're miserable because you're separate.
Okay. Well, as long as you brought up that point, could we start a different thread of conversation?
Absolutely.
Is each of us subject to a script that was created, let's say, at our birth? And if so, do we have any ability to alter the script?
Of course. Otherwise, you wouldn't be freedom.
I'm sorry, otherwise what?
You wouldn't be what you are.
Oh, okay.
Infinite freedom.
Okay.
You see, we have the tendency to solidify things. Nothing is solid. You are pure substance. Now, going back to what that you have to, you see, it's because we're very interested in that which is appearing. We're not interested in that in which is appearing.
Okay.
You see that at every instant we're interested in that which is appearing.
Mm-hmm.
And we
How
become
about both?
and we become experts. So we become experts about objects, that which appears.
Yes.
So see that because do you rather be an expert in that which appears, or do you rather be happy?
How about balance? I see some people who seem to me to be fairly well evolved, maybe even enlightened, I don't know, or maybe realize the freedom they've always been, whatever expression you like to use, and they have material comfort.
Because there's nothing wrong with it.
No, nothing wrong with it. But the people who are, let's say, progressing spiritually, but don't have the material comfort, seek material comfort along the way. And I could be completely wrong, but it seems to be denied those people.
Not at all. And I can tell you exactly from this experience. Once upon a time, so we put the things into context because it's just a story to describe what you're speaking about.
Okay.
Is this in this case here has been up and down, what they say broke in with the flow of well-beingness, and I remember once having everything and said, now let me go of everything. I remember hearing Lester saying the following: you have to let go of everything. And I was in Phoenix, in Sedona at that time, in a hotel, doing the meeting. I remember I couldn't wait to get into the plane, go to New York, open my apartment, invite all my friends and said, welcome, take everything. And I just wrote in my checkbook, every single money that I had in the bank account, because he will say, don't make freedom dependent upon anything, not even upon your bank account. And I just went for it. Everything was done. I was clean out, nothing else. And there I was in an empty apartment saying, okay, here we are. What is freedom? And in that moment, which I didn't understand, and I'm glad now I know the value because I can use it as an example, is that I started to investigate what was lack. I was not investigating what was fullness. And that's what we are. We're investigating what is lack. That's right. We have the word I can't. And Lester used to say, freedom is going from I can't to I can.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say to you this experience that happened years later, when I heard again Lester said, you have to let go of the attachment to everything. I said, oh, I didn't hear the word attachment. I thought I have to let go of everything. But it was beautiful to see that there was no regrets whatsoever. Even if I did go through a moment that I have to ask to a friend for a car so I couldn't sleep that evening. Can I use your car so I can sleep? You see, I really put myself in the position of having nothing
Okay. All right.
and being have health problems. I mean everything.
Okay.
And then I understood. I remember going back once to Sedona, and Lester opening the door for me as I walked in. I said, "What are you working on?" And I said, "I'm investigating lack." And he didn't say a word, but it was not necessary. When I sat down at the table, I heard what I said, and I said, "Enough of this investigation." I allow the sensation of lack to be what is, only a sensation, and let's investigate the fullness in where that lack seems to appear.
Okay, great. We've certainly given us all good things to think about. Thank you very much for being here today. Please come back soon. I think someone else is waiting to ask a question. I think I'll just step aside here. Thank you very much, Laura.
Oh, thank you, Chuck. I hope I answered your question.
It was very good. Thank you.
That's fascinating to listen to, actually. That's quite a turnaround, isn't it? From focusing, even investigating lack is focusing on it.
Yes. You see, because it doesn't exist, Lisa. It's only a perception.
Yeah.